And then the other part is like this is a character that gets seen in a positive light, and I really enjoy doing movies with Lifetime that show with characters that show me doing things in a positive and uplifting, which is contrary to my homie Thomas in the story, which is kind of like the title is named after.
Welcome to Survive the Shows.
Welcome everyone to this exciting interview segment here at Survive the Shows. I'm Desiree, and today we have the pleasure of sitting down with Nathan Witte, star of the new Lifetime movie, Toni Braxton's He Wasn't Man Enough. Join us as we delve into Nathan's insights into his character and the challenges of filming this movie. Thank you for being here with us, Nathan.
Yes, no, thank you very much for having me. Really appreciate it, and I'm excited for everyone to catch the premiere this weekend.
Great. And so, talking about this movie, what was your first reaction when you read the script for Toni Braxton's He Wasn't Man Enough?
My first reaction was, "Yo, Toni wants to work together again." So this is the second movie that Toni and I get the privilege of working together. So knowing that she was back in town, even before I read the script, I was like, "Yo, let's go." I'd love to be on. It's probably been like 7 or 8 years since our first movie. We did a Christmas movie 8 years ago, and then to read the script, well, the title, which is based off her music and music video, "He Wasn't Mad Enough." I thought this was fun, and then I come to find out that my good friend Thomas is leading it in it as well. So I didn't really have to read the script to kind of say yes, but then once reading the script. The character I get to play was kind of a no-brainer. So,
Great. And how did you approach creating your character's backstory beyond what was on the page?
I like to do a lot of work on my own when I'm creating my characters. I need to spend some time alone for a few days, and there's a lot of parallels with my character in terms of I come from a construction background. My character, he's in the trades and starts his own business. I've started my own business as well. So there was a lot of parallels for me to tap into, and there's and stuff. I really love how they haven't really alluded to my character or even me being involved in the movie. So it's kind of a nice surprise for people when I come into it. Um, yeah.
Great. And can you describe your character's arc across the movie in small sentences?
Yeah, for sure. My character's arc is he's it's funny how like art can imitate life and life can imitate art at times, and I felt like this was a movie that was doing that for me this summer. We shot this over the summer. I got to shoot it on my birthday, so that's always a nice fun wink from the universe when I get to shoot a movie on the day of my birth. So that was fun, and I've been going through my own transitions in life, kind of honing in myself and growing, and this character is the same. He's a single man working on his businesses, focusing on himself, and not really trying to find anybody else to collaborate with, or really interested in looking for a partner. But just as it happens in life, when you least expect it, love kind of comes marching around the corner, and it had a lot of parallels in my life right now, and so I thought that was kind of fun. So the character, my character, gets this arc of like not really being interested in finding love, and then eventually coming around and finding some love.
Great. And which moment in the script made you say, "I have to play this"?
Well, the moment would have been like the fact that Toni Braxton was back in town and wanted to do a movie again, and so that was definitely the big reason why I said yes. And then the other part is like this is a character that gets seen in a positive light, and I really enjoy doing movies with Lifetime that show with characters that show me doing things in a positive and uplifting, which is contrary to my homie Thomas in the story, which is kind of like the title is named after.
And how did you prepare emotionally for the most intense scenes and your character faces?
um, well, there wasn't too many emotionally intense scenes. I guess there's one in emotionally intense scene with Thomas and I where we kind of square off a little bit and we're not sure how it's going to turn out. And that one I'd say was a little bit challenging because Thomas and I are really good friends, and so we can crack each other up. And so to kind of like look at him aggressively and to be in a place of intimidation, we had to take a couple takes, but it to prepare for me, I have a really good job at tapping into a lot of my own life experiences, and I come from an adolescence where I was in a little bit of a darker place, so I was able to kind of tap into that. And I've also been hitting the gym a lot and working out a lot, and that's definitely helped make me feel a little bit more intimidating when the time needs to be.
Amazing. And did the director give you any specific notes that changed how you played your role? If so, what were they?
Um, Stan Stan was pretty good. The one thing that I liked about Stan is that he really enjoyed my facial expressions and able to tell the story through that. And there's like one scene where Toni is cutting up some fruit and she's gonna share some of her fruit with me. And but she gets a little bit crazy with the knives, and Stan really wanted to show that it was a little intimidating to be there with her, and so I appreciated that he allowed me the freedom to kind of dive into that. And Stan's real cool, man. He kind of allows us to bring what we need to the table, and so I really appreciate it. I would work with Stan again.
Great. And what was your audition process like for this movie? Any memorable lines that you used to to win the role? Win.
Um, Yeah, it's funny because Tony and I, like I mentioned, we worked together, and so I wasn't too sure if I needed to audition, but I hadn't worked with Stan, and so he wanted to see if I could pull it off, and so auditioning nowadays is not done inside of a traditional casting room. It's now done at home or in a studio on our own time and our own accord. So I just had to call up some good friends and help me dial in. And it was a scene where Tony and I kind of meet for like the first time. Like I'm her neighbor moving in. I'm her neighbor. She moves in next door to me, and I just mind my own business. But it comes a point where she gets into a little bit of an accident out front of my house, and I come in sort of quote unquote save the day. And that was the auditioning scene. And so I just had to bring in a little bit of charm, a little bit of man who saves the day kind of vibes, and clearly it came across and they loved it, and I'm in the movie now.
Amazing. And how much input did you have in shaping dialogue or actions for your character on set?
A little bit. That there's definitely a set flow with the script. I always really like to stick to the script as much as possible because I feel like the script and the lines that my character have are indicative of the character, and so I really try to do my best to memorize the lines as they are, unless of course there's something that feels out of character. But for the most part, it's really free flowing. Thomas and I get to riff off each other a little bit, And Toni, she has full liberty. It's her movie, so she gets to change whatever she likes at any time. And so there's some little improv here and there, and so I really love that. So the ability to improv and be in the moment with Toni really makes it a lot of fun, and it really allows for some really organic, authentic moments to kind of come through. So there was some considerable amount of freedom, which I really appreciate.
Great. And were there any scenes that were improvised? Tell me about one that stayed in the final cut, if you can.
Wow, I haven't actually seen it yet, so that's a good
Oh,
question. So the premiere is this Saturday. It premieres in the
yeah.
U.S. on Lifetime, the 22nd, and I think it might be more widely available and in Canada on the 29th, the following week. But I, I mean, I'm pretty sure most of the scenes that we did are in the movie. Uh, Hopefully, when people see this, they and then watch the movie, I'm still in it. But I guess the scene with her and I that are there's one scene that we're putting a puzzle together, and that one was a little bit more improvised. Her and I get to have some fun, get to like really get to kind of show that moment of two people coming together and learning about each other, and I'm kind of showing her the world of puzzling, is because that's something that my character really likes to do as a way of just you know bringing his nervous system down and calming from a day of work with all the stuff that he's got going on.
And how did you build chemistry with your co-stars? Were there particular rehearsal techniques or off-camera rituals?
Well, we don't get a lot of rehearsal time. And so what really helped is that Thomas and we've worked together in several movies already over the years. So that really helps. And then Toni and I have had the opportunity to work with each other about 8 years ago. So that definitely helped. And then in between takes, so that's kind of the time where actors have the opportunity, and that all depends on different actors' processes. Some actors like to stay by themselves after each scene, depending on what they're doing. But Toni's super cool, she's super chill, and I like to think so that I am as well. So her and I got to just hash it up in between sets, catch up over the what had been maybe 7 or 8 years, and get to know each other, and then that really helps to bring that in the scene and makes those scenes of where her and I are really getting to know each other to come out and feel more organic and honest.
Great. And what was it like working on a project associated again with Toni Braxton? Did her involvement influence the set atmosphere or creative choices?
Yeah, of course, she's the lead. It's her movie. Number one, she's more or less kind of running the show. But I love Toni. She's so fun, so energetic, free flowing, and she just wants to get the best product possible. And she's like it's like just kicking it with like a sister, and she allows some freedom to come in, and if we've got suggestions, we can suggest it. If we need to go again, we can go again. Like the pressure isn't too high, and which is great. As an actor and a performer, when sometimes the pressure feels so high, it can make the performance feel a little rigid or trepidatious. And but being able to follow my instincts on set with her and with Stan definitely makes it for a much more free-flowing experience. And like I say it all the time, it doesn't even feel like work. It just feels like I get to go and hang out with my friends.
Great. And the movie deals with the sensitive, emotional themes. How did you approach portraying those with authenticity and respect?
Well, fortunately, my character is a little bit more on the noble side, so I didn't have to delve into too many dark territories And I guess the dark territory that my character has to go into is more of a protective vibe, which is something that naturally just comes to me anyways. I'd like to be the protector. I'm always the one that's like looking out where are all the exits in the building, letting people walk ahead of me so that I've got the back of the bus kind of protected. And so I definitely bring a lot of that to the role and to my character. And yeah, I didn't have too many things like where I think Thomas he had to go in a little bit of a more of a darker place, and that which might have been a little bit more challenging for him. But from the clips that I see, he's nailing it. He's doing such a great job. I think people are going to really love the film. I think they're going to really love seeing Thomas in this role where he's playing something a little contrary than he's normally used to. He's traditionally like in a lot of cases the nice guy, and so I'm excited to see him play this man child.
Great. And which scene was the most physically demanding, and how did you prepare for it?
The most physically demanding scene would have been not really physically demanding, but there's a scene where I have like a muscle shirt on, and I'm like, tending to my house, and so I'm just happy. I've been hitting the gym for the last few years, so hopefully that comes through. And then before that scene, before any kind of scene where some muscles might be showing, might do a little push-ups, little sit-ups, try to like look nice and sharp before the scene, and then I won't be eating breakfast that day, that kind of thing. Those are the kind of challenges. So there wasn't too many physically demanding scenes, but I wanted to just make sure I looked fit, especially when Thomas and I, we confront each other. I got to come across looking like, I could be a challenge.
Okay. And were there any stunt or safety rehearsal you had to do for this one?
No, I mean, the biggest stunt I had to do was climb up and down a ladder. So
Okay.
that's that was the extent of that for sure.
Okay. And how did the costume and the wardrobe influence your character psychology and choices? If so.
Uh, well, a little bit. He's like a blue collar guy, so he just wears generic blue jeans. And but I got to also they put my company logo of the hardware store that I own on my shirt, so that always helps. That always helps bring in the character. It really helps make the world feel a little bit more real. They've got my logo on my big truck as well, and that helps make me feel confident as a performer that I definitely own these businesses. And but it's really easy, in that regards because I'm just wearing, regular blue jeans and a t-shirt. It was hot that summer, this summer too. So we were sweating. We were sweating pretty heavy. It was like when we got that big heat wave during June and July.
Great. And was there a specific director or cinematographer choices that help you shape a moment, like lighting, camera movements, or something like that?
Hmm. This one, not. I wouldn't say too much. It was pretty straightforward. A lot of times with these lifetimes, they there's not a lot of time to do a lot of artistic shooting and camera angles, and so a lot of the times it's a lot of basic shots and just making sure that we get it. And yeah, so there Stan was able to just effectively get exactly what he needed. That's why I really like Stan. He knows what he wants. He gets it. I guess at the end of the movie, the one real cool one was the people notice it's done on a drone shot, and at the end of the movie, it's the most difficult line for me to say. It's just this blah 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 mouth that I had to take after take after take. Dan was like, "Yo, who wrote this script?" I was like, as a joke, but we got this real cool shot at the end of the movie with this drone where it comes in. It's scaling us, and that's always fun and tricky because you've got this drone with with its propellers going around. So there's a lot of safety that has to happen, safety protocols. There's people around, and it's a lot of technical. So people are like holding it, handing it off to other people, and then it kind of takes off and does its own thing. So I think that's one of the coolest shots in the movie is what people will see at the end.
Amazing. And were there scenes shot out of a sequence that changed how you maintain emotional continuity? How did you manage that?
Yes. So in film, it's very rarely does it ever get shot sequentially. So that is part of the process of us as actors and performers is the ability to know where we are in the story and in each scene on each day. So we could shoot. Fortunately, the last scene is that of the movie was the last thing we shot for me in the summer, but generally, yeah, we're shooting all over the place. And so for me, I just take each scene. I know where my arc is. I know who I am and where I am, and then I really just take each scene and hone in and focus on every day. And the audition process has helped me do that because auditions is exactly that. You just get a random scene, and I got to bring in the emotion and showcase it so that they love it and they want to hire me for the project. And so the amount of auditions I have done have helped me prep my ability to jump on these lifetimes. Because sometimes, and just like in this one, they audition me on Wednesday, and then on Monday I'm shooting. So sometimes I don't have a lot of time to prep, and in that time I got to be on point. I got to do a lot of research for myself, but and in terms of like my own experiences and bring that to the best of my ability. And so when I'm not working, I'm constantly working on my emotional self. I'm doing voice classes and auditioning, and this helps prep me for the roles that come up.
Yeah, amazing. And in how many days this was shoot?
This I think it was like a 15-day shoot, maybe 16-day shoot, and I had about 5 days on the shoot,
Ah,
and so I'm a supporting character in the movie, and yeah, these lifetimes they shoot pretty quick, they shoot pretty
very
quick.
quick. Yeah, yeah. This this type of Lifetime movie too, because I know thriller movies of Lifetime. It's really quick, 12 or 13 days, but also romance movie of Lifetime. It's very quick to shoot.
Yes, it is
Yeah,
very quick, which is a challenge in and of itself.
yeah,
So um, it uh, it it really puts us to the test as performers to be able to get to these emotional places quickly.
yeah, exactly. And did you research real life experiences to inform your performance? If so, what sources or people did you consult?
I just had to just focus on my own self.
Okay,
Like I said, there's a lot of parallels for me, and I come from a blue collar background, so that helped influence my decisions as a character. And then I have a lot of friends who own businesses, and I own my own business, and so that definitely helped influence the character for me, and which is great because it makes me doing a lot of research in a short amount of time a lot better than having to really stretch and find some things that might be outside of my emotional range.
great. And what was the toughest scene to film emotionally and why?
Toughest scene to film emotionally. Um, I don't know. I guess they weren't. It wasn't. Nothing was too tough, but maybe the end scene, just because there was a lot going on. So like with the camera movements, really, not the easiest dialogue, and then making sure that I am conveying that there's a certain persona that is required at the end of the movie. Um, for the character. And so I guess that would have been the most challenging is, having to do all these technical movements and, and in a short amount of time, and then also maintain the emotional levity of the scene that required, that poignant end to the movie. So
And which day on set gave you the biggest surprise, either creatively or logistically?
the biggest surprise,
Yeah.
uh, the biggest surprise. I don't know. There was one day, the day I was shooting with Thomas, and then just not so much of a surprise, but a very cool moment with a new up and coming actor, and he came to set. It was his first day on a movie, on a big movie, and him and I met about a year ago at one of his little script readings, and so to see him come on set and to see me again, and I thought that was a nice surprise. The universe kind of bringing us back together, and him being able to get his feet wet, and I can offer some of my own experiences and advice in the industry and stuff, and help his first day on set feel a little bit more welcoming and comfortable, so that he's able to execute his job in the way that he needed to. So that was definitely a nice surprise.
Great. And how did the music or soundtrack choices on set affect the way you performed particular scenes?
Well, they don't actually put any music on the sets. We don't get any of the music. That all comes out after. So I don't even know what music is on it until I watch it.
Okay, okay, great. And were there any last minute script changes? How did those affect your preparation on the final film?
There, sometimes they do that. Yeah, there's always last minute script changes, and so fortunately, I get a lot of auditions, and so through my audition process, I'm always having to learn lines really quickly, and so. On these lifetimes, something, especially if Tony doesn't like something, or Stan doesn't like something, there's quick changes, or something just doesn't make sense. We write a script, you get to set, and you're like, actually, this doesn't make any sense with what we're doing. And so sometimes they'll just throw us new sides, change here, change there, and yeah, I gotta memorize that and get that down, and find a place where that resonates and is effectively executed within 10 minutes, sometimes 15 minutes. So that is a bit of a challenge, but it's a muscle now that I've been working on for many years. So it's not as difficult as it might be for someone who is just starting out per se.
Amazing. And how do you hope audiences interpret your character's decisions by the end of the movie?
Well, I hope they interpret him um, as not a man-child. And contrary to Thomas's character, if that comes across, then I think the goal has been met.
Okay, great. And did you draw on any of your past roles or experiences when finding these characters' voice, like mm, type of character?
I guess a little bit. This was more me tapping into the things that I already know and true, and then having Toni there, her and I working together again. But yeah, tapping into, I guess there's a version of me that lives in Vancouver, and then there's a version that grew up in Calgary that's contrary to the version of me here, where I was doing a lot more blue collar work, and living a much different and maybe darker lifestyle, for lack of a better term. And so tapping into that and bringing that into my character as a choice for this character, deciding that he's going to live a better life and take things on his own and just focus on himself, that definitely helped me dial it in.
Great. And other than this interview, how involved were you in promotional activities for this movie?
Uh, Not very much, Lifetime. Not very much. So just what you see on the socials, just me reposting and posting my own stuff. Doing this interview is great. So I really appreciate this. I'm sure Lifetime does as well. We love what you're doing and getting getting our word out there and helping push the projects. It's so much fun. Yeah, I don't know, Thomas. It's a good question because Thomas always gets to do these red carpets and promotion stuff. I see on, so I'm like, hey, where? How come I didn't get called down? So I don't know. It's a good question. I'm gonna talk to Thomas and figure out how I can do more promotions. Or I got to put it in my contract with Lifetime. I want to be a part of the promotions.
And looking back at the finished movie, what are you most proud of about your performance?
Well, I hope when I see it, I'm proud of my performance when it's believable. If I can look at it and I can go, yeah, like I believe when I feel like I believe me, then I feel like I did a good job. But sometimes I feel like if I don't believe me, then which most people might not be able to see, but that's just me being critical on myself. But to me, I just want to I'm always looking to make sure that like was I authentic and in the moment, and that's what I'm always looking for.
Amazing. So, the last question, as usually for me, what's next for you? What can you say about your next project?
Okay, I've got a few things on the go. I'm on my own, creating my own project. I got a sci-fi that I'm looking to finish shooting in the spring. It's turning into a feature film. It's called Cognizant. And so we're just going in pre-production right now with some financing and distribution and looking to finish that in the new year. But what people can expect to see coming out soon is I've got a guest star appearance on the TV hit show Wild Cards. That will be premiering in season 3 in January, and I think we're either episode 1 or episode 2, myself and but that one's a very very fun role. I play a 90s pop star, so that I felt like I got to live a childhood dream there. And then I just finished shooting a role on the new Aaron Sorkin movie that's coming out next year, so people can look out for that as well.
Amazing. So, this is it. Make sure, all of you, to quote Toni Braxton's He Wasn't Man Enough this Saturday night on Lifetime Channel. And thank you, Nathan, to join us today.
Yeah, no, thank you very much for having me. It's always a pleasure, and yeah, enjoy the movie. In the U.S., it premieres this Saturday, and then in Canada the following Saturday. So enjoy. Hit me up on socials. Let me know what you think.
Amazing. Thank you again. And thank you all for watching. Bye.
Thank you.